carefully control climate effectively in the data center. Temperature, most specifically, and you had to keep it low, and humidity, and it had to be kept low as well. Significant technological advance in how data centers now can be built and constructed, how they can be virtual as well as physical, and the notion that we can now allow humidity to rise and temperature to rise due to technology changes our requirement to consume power. So I think first and foremost, looking every day where technology changes our own consumption footprint is something we're dedicated to doing and doing with increasing success. Second thing is around customers and clients. Product simplification, the use of technology. Anyone who is really forward-looking in a bank these days, in fact, I was in a room with my technologists yesterday, and it's not just because they're technologists. You're making a real recognition that what we sell is technology. Anybody can sell money. What a bank does is sell access to money. Anyone can hold your money, your mattress can hold your money. What a bank does is provide a vehicle for you to hold it. And doing that electronically, doing it on an automated basis, those things are delighters for clients and customers, like you're describing, but also change our own footprint. And then how we drive the marketplace forward is not just our lending and investing that we've talked about, but for example, our own product creation. The team that so wonderfully leads our environmental work day to day spent almost all of last year, but ultimately introducing into our investment portfolio a portfolio of investment vehicles where our clients can invest in environmentally appropriate or environmentally sustainable investment vehicles. And we worked really hard not to have lip service to that, but to have them be market differentiating opportunities for clients who care to say, I'm putting my dollars in that particular fund. And then we go out and retail it through our various financial advisors. So that was sort of a long ramble, but I'm good. but it's how we design the work we do. It's how we fulfill customer demand, and then it's how we use technology and the change in technology to invest in things that produce a different outcome.
Right. I think we have time for a few questions, so let's see if we've got any. We've got a gentleman right here. Does somebody have a mic for him?
He actually doesn't need a mic.
There you go.
Well done with vital systems as you can see from the phone going on and hold on. So I remember when Bank of America was wrong before. I really like that you're here today. You're engaging with these topics, but I remember South Africa. And I remember that we had to boycott Bank of America to get them to stop investing in South Africa. I think there's similar mistakes still being made with fossil fuels and nuclear energy. So can you be a little more specific about what the bank is doing to change your policies and really make sure that your loan criteria are sustainable?
Well, banks and large companies sometimes don't come to philosophical changes on their own. I don't know any other way to say it. We face a wide number of pressures every day, from producing immediate bottom line results to sustaining large workforces. And the net sum of what we do means that just like every other part of life, sometimes we've got to be woken up to things in order to move forward. The environmental sustainability discussion is not one that we come to kicking and screaming. If I leave you with nothing else, I would leave you with the notion that we come to it because it is absolutely our success at driving our own and our clients' environmental sustainability couldn't be more critical to our long-term success as a firm. I think that the soul of our firm has been to find the places where we can make a difference philosophically and intersect that with good business and try to move forward. So I've actually always been appreciative of the opportunities we've had to listen to people whose views are different than ours and reform our thinking as a result. So with that, just notionally, what I'd say is this: the way we drive our individual lending policies forward is something under constant discussion and debate. Today, what we've said is a position that used to have some actual intellectual veracity to it, which is that we would not fund companies, would not lend to companies, for example, whose principal business was mountaintop removal. And that actually meant that there were clients with which we could do business, but chose not to do business. Today, with the universal energy firms, while we maintain that lending policy, it does not actually produce a differentiable result. And how to move that forward is something that is very difficult to sort out. Probably most people don't know that while it's been widely reported that we funded to the tune of $3 billion fossil fuel work that our clients have undertaken, last year we put $2 billion into funding and investment for renewables. And so the goal over time is to support our clients' transitions, make good client choices, continue to evolve our policy, and ensure that the net balance of what we're financing, goes from a 3 to 2 to a 3 to 3 to a 3 to 2 in the other direction, so that we continue to move forward. I don't know the answer right now to what is the next broad lending declarative that we could or should make. I don't know the answer to that. I know that we're sincere in trying to figure it out, and I know that it is a balance between supporting the client and economic base as it exists today, but both pushing and supporting the drive to the future.
Well, a good and fair, honest answer. Is that Erica Park raising her hand from UBS? I'm going to guess you can do this without a mic as well, in case it doesn't get there. So speak up.
First, Catherine, thank you so much for your credentials. I applaud your efforts at investment research on ESG issues. I know you guys have a great team that does that. Although I have a couple of questions. Specifically, do you intend to expand that team, which I think would be great? How do you show that the markets, capital markets, are compensating you, rewarding you for providing that resource? And most importantly, how do you encourage through your incentive systems across the firm the collaboration that's necessary to really have a great product and a great offering to your wealth management system?
Well, a couple of things. One is, I think that our research coverage, I think our research team under Candace Browning's leadership does a pretty good job of coverage in the space today, and that our coverage of renewables and new energy actually is quite a bit more extensive than most of our peers. So it is a differentiator for us today, whether we plan to increase the team or not. We're not, as you can tell, I hope from my conversation, we're not ones to rest on our laurels, but our specific plans to say we're going to add a researcher here or there or expand sector coverage, there are no real specific plans about that today. So you've given me a good topic to think a little bit about, to talk to Candace about as I see her. In terms of how we tie, and basically what you're asking me is how do we tie compensation, right, to environmentally the achievement of all of the stuff that I'm speaking about philosophically, and that's where I get back to translation. If I tell another business, the fact of life is this: if I tell another business executive in our company that they have to reduce, in line with the company's goal, they have to reduce their energy consumption by 25% between now and 2015, company's goal, and if I tell that to a line of business executive whose job it is to produce client outcomes every day, they can spiritually agree, and do in our company, but they've got no way to make it actionable. So what we try to do is tie compensation to those things that can be made actionable. So I was telling Mindy this morning, so I can directly correlate the demand for almost every element of the things that we consume. Ports in the technology space, number of applications, number of products, anything that we produce or use, I can tie to an economic outcome. And that I can talk to a business leader about and drive compensation about. So you won't see, my own compensation, by the way, is tied to the success of our environmental initiatives. That's why I chair the council. Believe me, I'm highly motivated on every level, from my kids to my business to paying my own mortgage to get that right. But by translating it in the right way into the language of the business and then ensuring that the performance metrics and therefore incentive plans line up, that's what it takes. Actually, if you don't mind my saying so, I think it's why it's really important as you think about integration in a firm to think about business leadership, because we can all sign up for the philosophy, but if the person who runs the initiative can't translate it into, and several people have mentioned the work of your firm, each even as I've been here the last 12 or 18 hours. So I know you're a head nodder on this stuff too, but if I can't translate it to the business of the firm, it doesn't mean anything, and that's why I love being in the position of running tech and ops and chairing the environmental council, because I get the business of the firm.
So Erica, this is about sharing information and taking each other's things that are done well and bringing them back. But that is, again, the beauty of what we do with series. Kathy, let me ask you to really sum up, if you would, and then I want to say something about what I just heard. Have at it, please. What are the messages you want to leave us? Where do we gain the confidence? And what does it take to help you get to the 50 million, as well as get to B of A 3.0, where you can even integrate this work further?
Sure. Actually, I haven't thought about the sum up in advance. So how about a little stream of consciousness?
Right.
How about brief stream of consciousness? At the end of the day, collaboration is the model that will take us forward. There is no question about that. And at the end of the day, all of you, 600 people at this conference, get to make a judgment about whether or not Bank of America is serious, whether or not our work is of sufficient aggressiveness and assertiveness to actually make a difference, whether our goals are lofty enough. And so what I would say to you, as I would have my view of that, would be we have attempted to line up our philosophy with the heart and soul of our company around goal setting and moving things forward. We understand our role is both as consumer, right, driving our own footprint, leader in terms of public policies and models that work, as well as the role that our products and our lending and investment play in shaping capital markets and how they move. So we understand fully our role in the dialogue. We're here because we take it seriously. And we are serious-minded people around and serious about causing outcomes. I do not, the hardest thing I do every single morning, and I hate it, the hardest thing I do is walk out on those kids. They're teenagers. They don't really care that I'm walking out anymore in the morning, but I care. And the hardest thing I do, I absolutely refuse, and I get to work every day with people at the bank who refuse not to make the investment we make of ourselves and of the resources of our firm count. And so whether we're 100% right on policy today or 100% right on our advocacy or our lending practices, the important thing is, like Pete Seeger says, are you in the fight with the right people? And a banker quoting Pete Seeger, come on. But are you in the fight with the right people? And the conclusion I would want out of this room is we're one of the right people. We're a set of the right people. And then we can figure out the policy, the places where we have to be more aggressive, the places where you want to kick us in the pants to do something different than what we're doing. And that's a constructive conversation.
Right. And indeed, we look for candor, we look for people willing to say, we don't have it all right, but we're working toward moving in the right direction. I think Kathy couldn't have been more candid. She's not doing everything everybody in this room may want, and everybody in the room probably wants a different thing, so I can't give you the full list. But the intention, the call out on public policy, the specifics, they're all extremely helpful to hear. And I do believe that Bank of America being part of the team to change the debate and making sustainability a core business issue and change the dialogue and change policy is a terrific step. So thank you for your candor and for all that you're doing and for being brave enough to be out here.
Thanks, Wendy.